In the summer of 1483, London lay heavy under a sky of low grey clouds, and the river ran thick as molten pewter. The tower rose above it like an old god of stone and shadow, its walls breathing cold and damp, its courtyards echoing with the tread of guards whose eyes seldom met. Within its maze of chambers and turrets, the fate of England balanced upon two boys, Edward, king by right, and his younger brother, Richard, Duke of York. They came to the tower in early May, lodged there for their safety, as their uncle, Richard, Duke of Gloucester, oversaw the coronation that never came. At first there was no fear. The elder Prince Edward was 12, proud and pale as his late father, with the quick composure of a child raised to rule. His brother, barely 10, was bright-eyed and trusting, given to laughter that rang down the passageways like the chime of small bells. The garrison spoke kindly of them then, calling them the young roses. They walked the inner ward together, fed the ravens, and watched barges drift along the Thames. The people gathered by the riverbanks to glimpse them through the arrow slits, raising hats and murmuring prayers for the rightful king. But London is a city of rumor, and the tower is its ear. Whispers crept through the gates before the month had turned. Gloucester was no longer protector in name only. The prince's attendants were dismissed one by one, replaced by men loyal to the north, to the Duke himself. The great household that had followed Edward from Ludlow vanished like mist, leaving only silence and the echo of soft weeping from the boys' chamber at night. The tower changed with the air. Doors that had once stood open were locked. Torches burned lower in the corridors. Guards swore they heard footsteps pacing above them long after the princes were meant to sleep. A nurse reported seeing shadows move behind the curtains. Though the boys lay motionless in bed, she was dismissed the next morning. By midsummer, the elder prince no longer smiled from the window. The younger had fallen ill, or so it was said. Only a handful of servants saw them then: the physician, a page, and the governor, Sir Robert Brackenbury. He kept to himself, a man of measured speech and unyielding face. He prayed often in the chapel, his hands trembling as they touched the cross. The night of the 8th day of July came close and airless, the heat lying over the city like a fever. In the tower's heart, deep beneath the royal lodgings, torches guttered in their sconces. A chamber was prepared, narrow, stone-walled, its single window sealed by an iron bar. Men entered there at midnight, 4 of them cloaked and silent. What words passed between them none dared repeat. Only one emerged before dawn, pale and shaking, muttering of mercy denied. In the upper chamber, the candle burned low beside the prince's bed. Edward had risen when the door opened, startled, his brother half asleep beside him. The taller man who entered spoke gently at first. He told them their uncle had ordered a change of quarters, that the tower's old rooms were unsafe. Edward believed him, as children must. They dressed quickly, barefoot on the chill stones, and followed the man into the stairwell. Below, the air smelled of oil and damp iron. No one saw them again in daylight. When morning came, the fortress stirred uneasy. Brackenbury ordered the chamber sealed and gave no reason. The servants went about their work under a hush, their eyes averted. A boy who had attended the princes was found weeping beside the well, his lips blue with cold. He said he had heard singing in the night, 2 voices blending softly until they stopped all at once. The song, he said, was a prayer. Weeks passed. The weather turned. Rain swelled the river and darkened the tower's stones to near black. Rumor seeped through the cracks like rising water. Some said the boys had been moved secretly to another castle. Others swore they were dead, smothered as they slept, buried beneath the stairs. The city murmured and watched the skies, waiting for a sign that never came. Yet the tower remembered. The guards began to speak of strange things in the dark hours before dawn. A light flickering in the upper window of the bloody tower, though no one lived there. The sound of footsteps pacing in a locked corridor. Once, a sentry swore he saw 2 figures standing by the parapet, small and pale. Their faces turned toward the river, and when he called out to them, they vanished like smoke. Sir Robert prayed longer in those days. His beard grew white. Those who served under him said he wandered the grounds at night, whispering to the walls as if confessing to them. The bell of St. Peter ad Vincula tolled one morning without a hand upon its rope. The new king, Richard III, was crowned at Westminster. London feigned celebration, but the cheers were hollow. Mothers crossed themselves when the tower's name was spoken. In taverns and markets, men lowered their voices to trade tales of guilt and ghostly reckoning. One said the river ran red one morning near Trader's Gate. Another claimed that the ravens left the tower grounds, circling in black flocks above the Thames before returning to roost at dusk. The fortress itself seemed to recoil from its own silence. Doors warped in their frames. The stones sweated moisture even in cold weather. Guards fell ill with fevers that burned through the night. A mason working near the stair beneath the white tower claimed to hear knocking from within the wall. 3 sharp raps, then 2, then 3 again, like a message half remembered. He fled and never returned. Winter came early. Frost crept over the arrow slits, turning them to pale mirrors. The king seldom visited London now. He ruled from the north, far from the whispers that clung to his name. In his absence, the tower endured. Its stones held the secret as a mouth holds a swallowed word. Years passed. Kings rose and fell. The tower's walls were rebuilt, its prisoners changed. Rebels, queens, and spies all came and went. Yet sometimes, in the deep hours of night, guards still heard the sound of children running across the courtyard. Their laughter, faint as wind through grass, echoed down the passageways. A yeoman once followed the sound into the chapel, where he found 2 sets of footprints leading to the altar and vanishing there. The dust around them lay undisturbed. 2 centuries later, when workmen dug beneath a staircase in the White Tower, they uncovered a wooden chest half rotted with damp. Inside lay bones, small, delicate, wrapped in fragments of cloth that might once have been royal blue. The find was taken to the king, and the tower fell silent again, as if holding its breath. The bones were sealed in an urn and buried in Westminster Abbey. Yet the uneasy air remained. The yeomen who guarded the chapel at night swore they heard crying, soft and distant like children lost in sleep. Even now, the tower bears their presence. Visitors speak of cold draughts that rise from nowhere, of the scent of violets where none grow, of shadows that linger a heartbeat too long. In the bloody tower, the air turns chill after sunset. A faint light sometimes flickers at the window, as though 2 candles burn within, unseen hands shielding their flames from the dark. The river moves slow and dark beneath the walls, the same river that carried kings and traitors alike. Its tide has swallowed centuries, yet the tower's reflection remains unchanged, gray, immovable, eternal. And sometimes, when the mist lies low upon the water, those who stand upon the bridge swear they see 2 pale faces gazing from the parapet above, their eyes dark and patient, waiting for the world to remember. The stones will not speak. The ravens will not tell, but the tower keeps what it takes. Its silence is not forgetfulness but hunger. Within its depths, where the air tastes of iron and old sorrow, 2 voices whisper still, a prayer half sung, a lullaby unfinished. And when the wind shifts from the east, carrying the smell of rain and the murmur of the Thames, it is said you can hear them. 2 children, bound by blood and betrayal, calling softly through the centuries, their words lost to the walls that murdered them.